Jim and Kiilu.
Perfect. Welcome everybody to another Fireside Chat with Kiilu and myself, and we've got wonderful Drew Soshnick with us from Indianapolis. Drew, give us a little intro about your firm, where you're at, and when you got into the academy.
Jim, Kiilu, good to be with you this afternoon. Hailing from Indianapolis, Indiana, I practice with Faegre, Drinker, Biddle and Reith, which is the result of 3 or 4 major combinations of law firms. We have 1,200 lawyers in 22 offices, about 6 or 7 in our family law department. I've been practicing for 34 years, and I've been in the academy since 1997.
And as we were saying, you've kind of watched it grow a little bit. It's really developed over the last 20 plus years.
It's really been terrific to watch. When I got into the academy, it was pretty tough for the younger lawyers to be able to make a path to be involved in committees and be involved in academy activities. And happily, that's really changed over the years. A lot of focus on bringing, as we all know, our newer colleagues who are in the academy, getting them to participate and have an opportunity. And really over the past 10 to 12 years, it's really accelerated under the various regimes, and been great to see all the new blood and new lawyers who want to be involved in the academy and all the fun stuff we do.
Yeah, you got to be careful. You don't want to dilute it too much more. You know, any more guys like Kiilu and myself, we got to be careful at what this academy is going to look like. So we got to up the game.
All out by then.
Clearly, though, I do like that we have all gone with the similar look. That, you know, aerodynamic is a good approach to being Academy Fellow. So,
you know, we're 3 good-looking dudes here on this video.
I went from chicks dig the long ball to chicks dig bald heads. You know, so I'm going with that. That's what I'm telling myself.
That works.
And if anybody doesn't know, that's from an old commercial with Greg Maddox and Tom Glavine.
Absolutely.
That wasn't for us. That was for whoever was going to, watch it. Like, oh my gosh, how can he say something like
that? Somebody's still going to do that, but that'll be okay. So, Drew, tell us one thing. What we kind of start off with? Who would you say is your hero?
Well, it may be trite, but my dad. He was a trial lawyer. Died when I was 16. Was a fellow in the American College of Trial Lawyers, and I grew up around the courthouse. So. Yeah, somebody said to me, he told me, it was a great story, I'll tell you. When I was a little boy going to the deli with him on Sundays, he'd say to me, do you want to be Roman Gabriel? Because I love the LA Rams in the late 60s and early 70s. And for those who don't know, Roman Gabriel was the star quarterback of the then LA Rams. He used to say, do you want to be Roman Gabriel or Carol Rosenblum? And of course, the kid, I said, I want to be Roman Gabriel. I want to be a star. That as I played football, I was pretty good, but had a little problem because I quit growing in 8th grade. So it took me a little while to figure it out, but I realized that the message he was sending, and you know what? It's good to be Carol Rosenblum instead of Roman Gabriel, getting your head knocked off.
It's true. Kiilu, what do you think?
Yeah. So actually my question was, I was going to go out and say, Drew, we really just met and got to spend some time together, last week for the past 8 days. Why don't you tell everybody, what was it about, how you got involved and everything about it?
Sure. Well, it was great to be with you, Kiilu, and the rest of the faculty at the National Family Law Trial Institute in Houston. It's a terrific program where we take young lawyers and we mold them from Saturday to Saturday. They're up on their feet virtually 8 hours a day. They have an opportunity to learn how to try cases and learn how to examine and cross-examine witnesses, culminating in a half-day trial that you and I just judged over and watched the progress with last Saturday. And I would recommend to any lawyer who's seeking to sharpen his or her trial skills to come down to Houston next year. It's at the same time every year, the week before Memorial Day weekend, and it's a terrific time. And I think all of the lawyers learned something, and I know they all walked away better lawyers thanks to having people like you there, Kiilu. So it was a great time.
And so I walked away being a better attorney, thinking about things that maybe we do that we have forgotten why we do them, or just, cleaning up and honing our skills. It was a tremendous week, for me, and just being faculty, I learned so much.
Absolutely.
And it really goes, Drew, you were saying too, the experience level. Like, this isn't just for new lawyers at all.
No, we had, I think the youngest lawyer, as you and I were chatting before we got on, was roughly 7 months out. And we had a lawyer who was 25, 30 years in practice. And it was a very broad group of lawyers. All there, some saying they hadn't tried a case in 5, 10 years. So it was really terrific to get them in there and work with them. And, you know, the great Steve Kolodny, may he rest in peace, recruited me 10 years or so ago to the faculty, and forever indebted for having the opportunity to do this, because as I say, it's probably the best and most fun professional week of the year.
See, you're the only two people I've talked to in a long time who really enjoyed going to Houston in the summer. So that's good to hear. You know, you had a good reason to do it.
Well, we did.
So Drew, I can say that, you know, for that entire, you know, week, you always have this great disposition, great, you know, everyone just wants to be around you. I don't think I ever saw you really get angry. So let me ask you, what actually makes you angry?
It's a great question. I'm pretty stable. I don't get too up and I don't get too down. So what you saw is me about 99% of the time. Bullies. When I see bullies, people picking on people, I told someone I may be short and I don't think I have a Napoleonic complex overtly, but perhaps subjectively or subconsciously I do. I don't like bullies. And if somebody doesn't stop and they're really picking on somebody who can't defend themselves, I tend to step in a little bit and it stops pretty quickly.
That's great. Kiilu, we were also talking about this earlier. I was telling him, Drew, that, you know, I picked up golf clubs in my 40s and was going to try to learn. And Drew is going to be re-picking up golf clubs to pick the game back up. Used to play a little bit more, you were saying, and now going to get back into it. So I might have a new partner at the mid-year if he can put up with, you know, hiking in the woods with me.
Well, I used to be, I was telling Kiilu last week, I used to be good, not Kiilu good, but I used to be not bad. Haven't played a lot in the last decade or so. So this year, my goal and my expectation is I'm going to pick up a new set of clubs and start hacking and slicing a little bit, try and get rid of that bad slice. And Jim, I'm certain that if the choice is, do I play with you or do I play with Kiilu, I am positive I'm going out with you rather than to embarrass myself. But I suspect it's like riding a horse or getting back on the bike. I'll be grudgingly acceptable after a few rounds. So looking forward to it, though.
Well, hey, if it makes anybody feel better, everybody knows that, you know, Sundays I play golf. And so we just got back. I got back late Saturday night, so I didn't play yesterday. So obviously, hey, I'd go play today, right? But I did not. You know what I did today instead? I played pickleball for the first time ever.
Oh, how is that? That's like a huge fad now.
It really is. You know, we went in our backyard. We've got a pickleball court in our backyard. So we were like, hey, you know what? We'll just start playing pickleball. So that's, you know, maybe we don't have to play golf. Maybe we can just play pickleball.
Who was beating up on who?
Well, I played against Tara. First, we just kind of went around, and then I played against Tara, and then, you know, that didn't go well. So then she brought Michaela in, and so I played against, you know, Tara and Michaela, and that still didn't go well for them. I think, you know, you play to 11. Let's just say I got 22 points and didn't have one scored against me.
So you've been cheating on the side, taking lessons before. That's a good way to do it.
Yeah. I was like, what is this thing called? And, you know, how do you play? No, we literally watched a YouTube video, like how to play pickleball before we went out there.
That's awesome.
I think we got a ringer in the house.
Yeah, exactly. But with the competitive nature of your family, I have a feeling they will come back with a vengeance. So be ready for it.
Yes, yes.
You're going to have some late nights at the office and they're going to be playing in your backyard.
Well, you know, it's a lit court. So, you know, I can imagine I'm going to be coming home and they're going to be out on the pickleball court practicing.
That's awesome.
So, Drew, if you are going to karaoke, what is the one song that you would say, I've got to sing?
So obscure. No one will know it, and no one will believe that I would select it. Ooh. Where Eagles Dare by Iron Maiden.
That threw me off.
I'm telling you, you never can judge a book by its cover.
No,
I'm a closet Bruce Dickinson wannabe. Telling you, what a life to go fly around, sell millions of records, do metal concerts in front of 100,000 fans. I'm there.
That is awesome. So is that the genre of music you like best?
Yeah, our adult son and I started at a young age. I brought him into the age of 70s and 80s hard rock, and we go to concerts together. He lives in Denver now, but we will meet up and go to concerts. Anything heavy we'll go to. So
are you talking like, hey, I'm throwing on leather vest, leather pants, and you got the wallet with the chain that's connected to it? Or are you saying, you know, you're going to go out there in your polo and stuff and go to these heavy metal concerts?
We'll do a hybrid. There was a day, but that day is long past at my age. So I will go in jeans and a good T-shirt that looks like an old guy going to a rock concert with a kid in his early 30s. So we have a good time. But no, I don't go full garb. It's not a good look for me at this point in my life.
Tell us about your family. How many kids and all that?
Yeah. So my wife, Brenda, we've been married for 36 years, and we have two children. Adam's 31, and he is in Denver in marketing. And our daughter is 29, Haley. She's in Indianapolis at an AAML 200 law firm, a real estate lawyer. She said to me, because she's pretty competitive and she has skills as a litigator, and she said to me, Dad, went on too many vacations with you. I don't want to work that hard. So as usual, every generation gets smarter and better, but she's doing well and enjoying herself, and our son's doing well. So we're really blessed with great kids.
That's awesome. Now, okay, so the heavy metal threw me off. What types of books do you like to read? What is your favorite book to read?
You know, military history. I really enjoy reading about military history from around the world. And biographies. I'm not much of a fiction guy, so I'm not sure I could put a stamp on the book that I like. But anything biography of Winston Churchill is pretty high on the list. Pretty interesting guy through his ups and downs, and somebody who was the right guy at the right time. So I'm into those kind of books.
All right, so I got a 3-part question for you. What do you think the Academy can offer its members? I'll ask you that, and then I have 2 follow-up questions after that.
All right. So a couple of things. The obvious is to improve the caliber of each lawyer in the Academy, who can then reach out to the community and bring a higher standard of the practice of family law to the community. But for the member directly, the CLE is terrific. The camaraderie is terrific. I would encourage anyone who hasn't been to go to the annual meeting, to go to the mid-year meeting, because you make great connections. It's not about going there and developing business contacts, although that happens organically. It really is about meeting people, getting to know people that you'll enjoy and make lifelong friendships with. So to me, that's been my experience and the great joy of the Academy, getting to know people around the country and really enjoying the camaraderie and friendship with them.
All right. What advice would you offer younger attorneys / younger fellows? That's
listen and learn. Too many lawyers, we all have egos. We all think we know everything, and that comes in different degrees. And when you're younger, taking the opportunity to learn from those who've traveled the road a little longer. I think about the great mentors I had and how much I learned from them just by listening, carrying the bag, tagging along. And in the Academy, you can have that same experience. Even if you're not practicing with lawyers, people can speak to you, Kiilu, and you, Jim, and really learn what we've all been through and have those experiences shed light on what they might do, and probably more importantly, what they shouldn't do as practitioners. So that to me is the real takeaway that we can give our younger colleagues.
All right. And if you could interview yourself, what one question would you ask?
Well, that's a good one. Never been asked that one before.
Hey, even the sun shines in a dog's ass, even once. You know what I mean?
Just, yeah, like the fox guarding the hen house, my friend. I think I would probably ask myself, if you weren't a lawyer, given the fact that you always believed you and expected to be a lawyer and really haven't given that much thought, what would you do? Because that would be a hard question for me to answer. So I would ask myself that question and push myself to answer it.
Yeah.
All right, answer it.
I would be an econ professor. I love economics. I love numbers. I think it's fun. I don't know that I like it. The bureaucracy of a big law firm is quite a bit, but I'm not sure it probably pales in comparison to the bureaucracy of the academy. But I think I enjoy teaching. I enjoy working with younger lawyers. Enjoy the subject. So I think probably an econ professor.
Now, seeing how you prepared your attorneys last week, as well as how you delved into the numbers and the business aspect of the valuation and really teaching them that, I absolutely believe that, and you would be fantastic at it.
Yeah, you're too kind. Thanks.
Well, we do. There's a lack of, I mean, it is amazing to see young lawyers, I think, get a little frightened over the numbers. They don't understand it. They can't break it down. And I think that's a true skill, is really being able to take very, very complicated, figures, valuation, et cetera, and boil it down into the simplest of terms so that anybody can understand it. That's a true skill.
Well, it's fun to watch the light bulb go off. Kiilu and I both last week had the opportunity, and when we work with lawyers, we all three work with younger lawyers, and those in the audience work with the younger lawyers. There's a great pleasure in seeing that happen. But in a classroom setting where you're just throwing it at them and you want them to learn it, and you see people learning at different rates, and you have to figure out different ways to reach them. And it really is a Rubik's Cube, but it's awful fun to see it when they get it. It really is.
Now, you mentioned Winston Churchill. Is there who would be your top 3 people you'd like to sit and have dinner with? Could be from any time period.
Dead or alive, male or female, Dawn. I'm throwing that out there for Dawn just in case he's watching.
All right. So I'd like to meet with Margaret Thatcher, because I think I would have dinner with her and ask her what it was like to be a powerful female leader early on when it wasn't as much in vogue. Thurgood Marshall, because of the importance to the Supreme Court, his background with the NAACP, and how he really went through tougher times. And then,
and for the listeners out there, he's still a male, but go ahead.
And then probably I'd throw in, for a little fun, since I was too serious with those two, David Byron, the late singer of the band Uriah Heep from the 1970s and 1980s, when they were really up there with Black Sabbath and the other big four, Black Sabbath, Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin, and say, what was it like to be in a band and try and live with all the stuff that went up in the 1970s and sell, have fans everywhere, groupies, make a record a year, have your agents taking all your money, but having money coming in the days when you would sell 500,000 to 1 million albums and you didn't just give it away. What was it like, and how'd you survive all that pressure? And obviously he didn't survive it very well. What would you do differently? I'd like to hear that from somebody who lived that.
I think that would be some incredible storytelling.
That'd be a pretty damn good dinner with those three.
Yes, it would be a good dinner. Yes, it would.
What is one of your favorite meals? What's one of your favorite foods?
You can never go wrong with sushi, and you can never go wrong with Italian. So I'm a big sushi guy, and Italian. One of the meals we had in Houston, as Kiilu knows, that pasta we had.
Oh my God! With the truffles and a little buttery.
Oh my God!
Oh,
you could have just kept bringing plates of that to us, and I would have eaten that and been happy. I could have done that all week. But no, good Italian is hard to find in terms of really good Italian, and that was really good Italian we had.
I had a second plate of that. I ordered that.
I saw you down at the other end of the table, and I said, "This guy knows how to get it done." But you know what? It was worth it. That was really good. Maybe that was about the best I've had.
And I will tell you, I think I put on about 10 pounds last week, but damn, it was worth it.
We did not go without, Jim. We were fed well every night.
Now, have you ever traveled to Italy?
No, France and England, but not Italy.
Okay. It is, I will say, you'll have to put that one on the bucket list too, because the way eating is an experience and it is amazing. And I'll tell you, everywhere I've ever been over there is incredible food.
On the list.
Yeah. Let's see.
So what's your favorite family tradition besides taking your son to, heavy metal concerts?
Every July 4th, we're usually on vacation. We'll go to different places. And even though the kids are out of the nest now, they'll sometimes join us for this. And we will always go for a long hike in different places. Utah, Colorado, Montana. We'll pick somewhere and we'll go. Probably in the Canadian Rockies was the best we had when they were younger, and we had a great time up in Banff and Lake Louise. But we will go out on July 4th and we'll do a long day hike, and sometimes it'd be pretty tough, and we love it. So great tradition for us.
Oh, that is awesome. Yeah. What's one of the best trips that you can remember besides the Banff one that you had for that hike?
Probably when our children were younger, we went to LA, saw an Angels game, saw a Dodgers game, went down, and then did the little kids things, because they were old enough to go to the games, but not old enough to really enjoy it the way you would with an older children. So, then you hit the San Diego Zoo, Legoland, the Animal Conservancy down there. I mean, they just had a great time. And it was just one of those, it took you back to the days when you were a kid, because you'd see all these kids, including yours, having fun. It was tiring as hell, but we had a great time. So that was a great trip. So that's one that there's lots of pictures and lots of good memories with.
So what's your favorite zoo animal?
Favorite zoo animal? The lions. They're tough. They're strong.
They got
and they're very calculating, both the males and the females. You can see them always, you can see them thinking. So love the lions.
I like that.
What was your first job that you had?
My first job was I spun platters. I was a radio DJ at a small rural central Indiana radio station that was purchased during my time by a major radio operator who now owns about 50 stations throughout the country. This was his first station. I played country music. I did play-by-play of high school basketball, high school football, high school baseball, went out to remotes. It was just great experience. It was fun. I didn't get paid worth a damn. I mean, it was just fun, but I got this great experience to do fun things. And, I always thought I grew up on the Cincinnati Reds. So when Al Michaels was their play-by-play man for a couple of years, and then the great Marty Brennaman, I thought, well, maybe I'd be a baseball play-by-play announcer, because in those days you didn't have cable TV, you didn't have all the access to information. So the radio broadcasters really were telling a story, and I found it to be great fun to do. Plus, I just love sports, so it was fun to do that aspect. But I figured out that I really can. At that point, I could tolerate country music. I wasn't a huge fan, but I learned to tolerate and then enjoy a little bit country music. But it was a fun job. It was a fun job.
I hated it growing up, and I still remember Saturday mornings with my dad driving to the different job sites, and he would play country, and I'd beg him to change the channel. And now that's all I listen to, it seems like. So it's kind of funny. Taste change. Yes. Yeah. It's so true. I find myself complaining about the same things with my kids that he did with me. So it comes honestly.
So, Drew, you had said something before in terms of, playing football when you were younger, but we didn't ask this, but what position did you play? Well,
until I played quarterback and cornerback, and through 8th grade, I was Kiilu's laughing because you both know me, but Kiilu saw me live. And I was actually a pretty big kid in 8th grade. If you can picture me the way I am now, Kiilu, I was pretty big in 8th grade, and then it just stopped. I played through high school, and I could hit like hell, even though I could just hit. So I played cornerback and played through high school. And one of the interesting things about it was we played against Blair Keel who as both of you probably know, went on to quarterback Notre Dame and went on to the pros and had a career. And we got killed. And our coach still to this day, he's still living. He'll say, you were in perfect position. You were stride for stride with the receiver. The only problem was when you reached up, you couldn't reach high enough because the ball was going over your head. So I was as I was challenged by height, I made up for it with hitting. But we were an exceedingly average football team, and I was an exceedingly average player. So, but enjoyed it. Wouldn't take that away for anything. It was great fun.
Now, is football
that was back in the days when you get those stars and you were proud of it. You wanted to hit somebody so you could see stars. Nowadays, that's not where it's
nobody was worried about a concussion back then. Exactly.
We did not have protocol.
Right. No, we didn't.
That is for sure. Now, is football your favorite sport to watch, or do you have a different one you like?
It's probably my favorite, but I love watching basketball as well. And as I've gotten older, I've come back to an appreciation of baseball. There was a period I went to baseball games all the time when I was a kid and as a young adult. Then I thought, oh my gosh, it's a little slow, relatively speaking. But I've come back to an appreciation for baseball now, and it's probably maybe a tie for second or a close third. But football's my game.
Yeah. It's always a lot of fun to get at least the kids out to baseball games. You don't have to stay for the whole game, but it's always that first experience you remember bringing them to.
Absolutely.
Whoa. You got to stay for the entire game. Starks, where's David Starks? Tell David Starks you have to stay for an entire game.
He bolted on us at the Astros game, and it 2-1 game, a pitcher's duel, and he left. Yeah, he'll never live that down.
Hey, I would have walked out on an Astros game too, so I can't blame him too much.
I was walking out banging stuff. I didn't go, but I was still banging and
throwing off their signals. You can't cheat too well when nobody in the crowd's doing it.
So, Drew, what is the most daring thing you've ever done?
Probably. You ever had whiplash, either of the two of you?
I've given people whiplash, but no, I've never had whiplash.
Well, you don't want to have whiplash. So when I was a kid, we used to do crazy dares in high school, and a house being built in a subdivision near where we lived, and we all went out there. We were, running around doing stuff that we shouldn't have been doing that night, and we got up on the roof of this pretty big 2-story house. So, I'm up pretty far, and somebody said to me, jump off there. And I said, okay. So I look down and I see this pile of dirt, and I think, oh, this will hurt. You're probably 14 or 15. This won't hurt. And, what I didn't realize was underneath the dirt, there was the concrete pad for where the septic tank was going to go. So that's a wild and crazy story or daring, but in the line of stupidity, I will tell you that I had a bruise on my chest from where my chin hit my chest for about 3 weeks after that. And when I say a bruise, I mean talking like a plum size plum. I probably could have broken my sternum with my chin at that point. So, advice to the younger ones: don't do that. That's really stupid. So, there's a fine line between stupid and daring, and I'm pretty confident I crossed it at that point.
But you know what? It's a damn good story. And if you weren't stupid or daring, you couldn't tell that story, right?
That's right.
Yes, that's very true. And you remember it, so that's good. Yeah,
I do.
I'm sure plenty of the people don't remember.
Yes, or won't tell.
So, I look at you and you're pretty in shape. So how do you stay in shape? How do you stay fit?
I'm a runner and a weightlifter. I used to lift competitively, and I still lift enough to stay in shape for an old guy, and like to run. And it's part of my morning routine. If I don't get up and run, my day doesn't go very well. And try and eat pretty healthy and not go nuts to excess. Save 1 week a year.
Yes. How far do you run? Like, a couple miles a day, 3 miles a day?
3-4 a day. 3-4.
Okay.
You know, not trying to win a marathon, but just get the heart rate up and get ready for the day.
And what are you listening to when you're running?
You know, that's interesting because all jokes aside about the heavy metal, on my Spotify playlists, I've got everything from the metal and hard rock to yacht rock to Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin. So it's pretty eclectic mix. I get bored easily with it. Plus, I don't want to keep hearing the same music that I always hear. So good mix.
That's awesome. What's your go-to running shoe right now?
Asics.
Asics. All right. I tried out Hoka, if that's how you say it. I like them. They're pretty light, but they're
really light. They're really light. The angle of approach and descent on it's a little too rounded for me.
So you guys are talking about running. Is someone chasing you? Is that why you're running? Or are you just literally going out there for, hey, I'm just going to walk out my door and start running?
Yeah. Hey, walk out the door and start running.
Go out. Not your gig, huh, Kiilu?
Nah, nope. Hey, my question is like, do you run? Am I chasing someone? No. Is someone chasing me? No. Then I don't run.
There's something about it. It does become cathartic at a certain point. Now, I've never been a long distance runner, but I can understand a couple miles a day. Just all right, get you going.
It does.
So what would you say, Drew, is your favorite movie of all time?
Several. But if I had to pick, you want me to pick Dirty Harry.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
I like mindless drivel when it's movies. I don't want it to be deep. I don't want it to be realistic. I want it to be something that interests me and that is fun and completely irreverent. And that's a good one. So
give us two others then that you just kind of think of. Don't have to be your top three necessarily, but
Young Frankenstein.
Okay. That's awesome.
And the cult movie Spinal Tap.
Okay.
I'm giving you three there, guys. I'm trying to give you some variety here.
That is awesome.
Dirty Harry to Young Frankenstein to Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap.
All right.
There you go. I got something for everybody.
I think the Spinal Tap probably hit the mindlessness the most out of those three.
Yeah, probably half the audience is sitting there saying, "What the hell, Spinal Tap?"
Yeah, they're Googling Spinal Tap, right? That happens a lot.
I was in college at the time, and I made 4 or 5 of my fraternity brothers go with me. Aside from the free beer they got, I don't think they had a very good time.
There's some good ones up there, though.
So what was the last thing you recorded on your TV?
Probably a Colts game.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's been a while since I've recorded anything. I'm not a big TV guy.
Who's their quarterback now?
Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
That's right. Matty Ice. Matty Ice is coming in there. Carson Palmer went somewhere. That was
No, Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz. That's what it was. Carson Wentz went somewhere.
Not one of Chris Ballard's best moves. So we'll see what Matt has left in the tank.
That was hard after Peyton era. The Peyton era was probably one of the best times to watch. That was. I'm a big Peyton fan. I like them.
Transitioning from Peyton to Andrew Luck for the years before he retired, that's about as good a transition as you could possibly have. But it's the last 4 or 5 years have been the wilderness for the Colts in terms of QBs.
Well, yeah. Green Bay happened to do it pretty well. They went from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers. You can't beat that. But
you could always
Manning to Andrew Luck is damn good. You really get spoiled having that. So
you do.
There's nothing wrong with you guys, lingering, not having a quarterback for years, because everybody else kind of goes through that. You could be Cleveland.
Yep.
You could be the Cowboys and just talk about what was great, and then you realize that's almost 30 years ago. So yeah,
they went from Roger Staubach and then we'll say the Troy Aikman, and then you had a bunch of things, and you got the Tony Romo, and then, then you get the Dak Prescott. You can't complain about that. That's a pretty good. Yes, they haven't won since, the 90s, but still they're not languishing in the bottom of not having found a quarterback since they had good quarterbacks.
That's true. I'm a big Dak fan, so I agree with that. I wasn't a Romo fan, but I'm a big Dak fan.
How can you not be a Romo fan? He actually did really, but for that ball was slippery. You could all see it on TV. I don't know what they did. They dunked it in oil or something. That was not his fault.
That and the catch by Dez. I thought that was the year that we would actually have Romo going. That was, what was that, like 2017 or so? I thought we would make a good run then, but nope. Darn Aaron Rodgers. That
was a catch. Because when you say the catch, there's two different things. There's the one that, I block out because that wasn't even Everson Walls' man. Dwight Clark was not Everson Walls' man. He just happened to be in the vicinity. So don't get me started on that. We're seriously, stop. Next subject.
We, just so you know,
next subject. I said next subject.
We have a lot of fellows that are really Googling now, going, the hell are they talking about? But that's always good. Let's see.
All right. What 3 items would you take with you if you were deserted on a desert island?
I would take a football, because I would amuse myself. My phone, but for the music, since the days of the iPad are gone. And a hammer, because in case it turned out not to be deserted, I want to be able to pound the hell out of somebody with it.
So you're going to get like 7 hours or 8 hours out of your phone, and then it's useless. So, you not sure you thought that one through. What are you going to do in your football?
And you know what? I can look at it. It would mentally make me think about it. I haven't slept, Kiilu. Jesus.
Or actually, he's the smartest one so far that has said a phone, so I can call somebody to come get me in 7 or 8 hours. In the meantime, I'm going to.
I rolled that out, Jim. So I screwed myself with that. As Kiilu sits there thinking about the cross-examination, he couldn't wait to get that. You couldn't wait to get that out, could you?
Got this phone. It's of no use after a day, but hey, I got a phone. I got some music.
But but those 6 hours of listening to tunes are going to carry me the rest of the way, pal. Come on.
It's true.
Yeah, but what are you naming the football? Can't call it Wilson. That's already taken.
Atlas.
All right.
Atlas.
So do you collect anything?
What's that?
Do you collect anything? Like, knickknacks, baseball cards, old football cards?
Well, I'm a little old for doing that, although I've got boxes and boxes of that sitting around. So my retirement is in those boxes, I keep telling myself. So hopefully that's there. Yeah, you know what I collect? Northwestern sports paraphernalia. You're going to say, why would you collect that? Because I need a hat for my head and I need crap to wear. And every season you got to have the new gear that comes out. So my wife says when we clean out the house, we're going to clean out the rest of the house, and we're going to figure out we still haven't cleaned out 3/4 of the house because you got enough crap here to last a lifetime. But yeah, I got a lot of Northwestern, bobbleheads. But
you did undergrad and grad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, I sat the 34-game losing streak when I was in college. Every win we get, every bowl game we get, I deserve, because I was there. I went to the game. So you know what? It is a cheap and safe habit to have. Of all the things we guys can do, it's a good one.
And as we talked about, we got 2 Saguaro grads who committed to Northwestern 2 weeks ago.
Great. Up to 5th right now in recruiting. It won't last because their class size is small, but Fitz is doing a great job this year.
That's awesome. Do both your kids like Northwestern, or what are their college teams?
So our daughter went to Northwestern for law school, but she went to the University of Michigan as an undergraduate.
Okay.
And our son went to a little all-male D3 college, but has great sports. Wabash College in Crawfordsville, Indiana.
My dad went there.
Did he really?
He did. True story. So my dad says, son, because they were going to give me a scholarship. You go there, I'll buy you a car. I was like, Dad, it's an all-male school. Because you go there, I'll buy you a car. I had other scholarships. I said, Dad, if I go to these other schools, will you buy me a car? He's like, no. He really wanted me to go there.
Well, it's funny because I'm the gap generation. My dad did his undergraduate work there, and our son went there. But I'm like you. I went. This is a great story. So I went my senior year of high school for the overnight thing, and they're there. They're telling me we'll give you money and all this stuff. And I'm sitting there thinking, no, smaller in my high school, there are no girls. This is not where I'm going. So I bring with me the most uncoordinated guy on our high school basketball team. He's 6'9". He cannot play. He doesn't play. The basketball coach is walking around campus while we're there on senior day. He walks up to this guy. He tells him, we'll give you money to come here. The guy wasn't smart. The guy couldn't play basketball, but he got his Wabash degree. He sat on the bench for 4 years. I'm not sure he ever got into a game, and he got a national championship ring because they won a national championship in basketball when he was there. So to this day, I tell him, I said, you're the luckiest SOB on earth, because if I hadn't made you tag along with me, you wouldn't have that ring you keep wearing. But true story.
That's awesome.
I don't know of anybody else who actually knows a Wabash. So that's awesome that we could actually have that conversation.
I love it. Your dad went there. That's great.
He went there.
But yeah, no, my reaction was exactly like yours. I got on there. I was there for 2 minutes walking around and said, even though I'd been there a lot on campus, when you're there as a prospective student, it's different. I said, I'll go there. Not for me.
I didn't even make it to that. I literally was, Dad, that's an all boys school. I know, son. But, I really want you to go there. No, that was our conversation.
Well, we are now kindred spirits, bonded forever with that badge of honor of not going to Wabash.
Yes, of highly disappointing our parents, our fathers, of not following in their footsteps and going to Wabash.
That's right.
Now, do you speak any other languages?
I speak a little bit of French.
Yeah. Oh, there.
A little bit. Not, I wouldn't take me to Paris and expect me to be the tour guide, but I could probably make out enough that I could fumble my way through. Our daughter's fluent. She was one of her majors was French, so I'm taking her with me if I go.
There you go. That's perfect.
All right, so I got a 2-part question for you. Jim, you got any other questions before I give him my 2-part question?
Nope, go for it. I know which one you're going with.
All right. So here's the first one. If you could have any superhero power, what would it be?
X-ray vision.
Okay. Now, if you could be any superhero, who would it be and why?
The Green Hornet.
There you go.
You're speechless, both of you now.
I am.
You got to tell me why. Why would it be the Green Hornet?
Why the Green Hornet? That's the one I got to know.
So when I was a kid and the Green Hornet original series was on, you guys are you're both too young to remember that. You remember it was like the Batman, it was spin-off of Batman with the Green Hornet.
Bruce Lee was Kato or whatever. So,
right,
yeah. I know I'm not too young for that. No, Jim's much younger than me. We've already established that. I know exactly.
So I loved the Green Hornet. I just thought Van Williams was cool. On Halloween, I had a little trench coat and a little hat. I took one of my dad's hats and I went out when I was 8, 9 years old and walking around like that. I loved the Black Beauty. I loved the car. And I thought Kato was cool because he kicked the hell out of anybody. So the Green Hornet has always, enough of these new superheroes and all the stuff they have. The Green Hornet's my guy. They need to make that the Black Beauty.
They need to make another movie with a better actor and have it actually worthwhile. That's been a long time that they made it, but it was a terrible movie.
Yeah, well, I boycotted that because I said, if it's not the real one, I'm not watching.
Yep.
I don't even remember the remake of a Green Hornet.
Yeah. And I'm blanking on the guy's name who played in it. Oh my God. I'll think about it, but
yeah, it's not been that good. Yeah,
it was terrible. So I'm glad you boycotted it.
I
but
do. An X-ray
Well, this-
vision, because I want to know what's coming before it's coming.
See, I was afraid to ask that one because I thought it would be a little bit dirtier than it was. So I'm
Nah,
glad you cleaned it up for the listeners
nah,
because I was like, I'm
we're a
not touching
G-rated
that.
show here, fellas.
so far we've kept it that way.
Yeah,
That's
I was
the
gonna
goal.
say, you know, obviously you don't know Mueller and I that well, but you know.
But it has been awesome, Drew. We'll let you get back to the rest of your Monday and enjoy the rest of your Memorial Day. And thank you again for sitting down with us.
And it's great to talk to both of you again, and listen to all the Academy fellows out there. Have fun with it, get to know people, and enjoy the camaraderie. It's good stuff.
Yeah, Drew, I look forward to breaking bread with you many times over.
Absolutely, friend. See you
All right.
both.
See y'all
All
soon.
right,
Take
see
care,
ya.
guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.